Good morning. This is day 28 of our meditation challenge starting off 2017. Happy, healthy, and centered. Really glad you're joining me. I'd like to stick to our tradition of meditating for 3 minutes to get us started off here. I'm going to set my timer and we can get started. I think today is a really important topic. I try to get to this usually a little bit earlier in the challenge, but we had a wonderful kind of progression and wanted to make sure we addressed this before we finished up our 30 days together. Our basic practice is to sit still, to turn our attention to the experience of the breath, to recognize thoughts, to release those thoughts, and to do that by returning fully and completely to the experience of the breath. And most importantly, because our minds don't stop thinking while we're meditating, we repeat this over and over again. There are situations, though, where we find ourselves coming back to a particular thought or feeling or interaction or problem over and over again. We see it, we let it go, and yet it comes back to us. We see it, we let it go, and we come back to it over and over again. This is a good indication that there's something going on in our life that we need to address. My personal experience with this started in, I think it was 2008, 2009. I was on my second week-long retreat, and I was very excited about this retreat. My first retreat had been blissful, serene. I learned things about myself. I had great realizations. I really touched a still point in my meditation that felt like I could deepen my practice around meaningfully. My second retreat was nothing like this. I sat down. This particular retreat, we meditate from 4 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. I sat in meditation, and every time I started to settle into my practice, oh, I forgot to send that report to Billy. Oh, okay, I'll let that go. I can deal with that when I get back to work. I'm going to return to the experience of my breath. Oh gosh, I never responded to Susie's email. Okay, I'll do that when I get home. Oh, I never, right? Over and over again. At this retreat, we would take once a day, we'd break our silence to meet one-on-one with our teacher. And finally, after the third day, I couldn't take it anymore. And I begged him to tell me what I was doing wrong. I relayed what was happening to me every time I sat on the meditation cushion. Ryushin very gently listened to me, and he suggested that maybe my professional life was a mess and I needed to get that organized. He was absolutely 100% right. There was nothing wrong with my meditation practice. My meditation practice was actually making me aware of how much stress and anxiety was going on in my day-to-day office life. So I came up with a plan. I got back to work. I cleaned up my desk. I created one centralized task list that I created the discipline of putting absolutely every single item on. And I saw in very short periods of time that my stress and anxiety around my workday diminished at least by half. And I've stayed very disciplined over the years of committing some of those organizational principles. I think this is a great example about how we can learn something about ourselves in our meditation practice and why it's such a therapeutic tool to return to. Right now, I'm coming out of a period where I'd been starting a business and working for myself full-time for 1.5 years, and it was getting hard financially by the end, and I needed to go back to a full-time job, or at least I'm working a 4-day work week, so I have some steady income so I can keep growing the business. I have found that in my meditation for the last couple of months of the year, I was coming back to finances over and over again. And it took me a few weeks to realize that this was the 4-alarm fire in my head. You know, where there's smoke, there's a fire. And I needed to put the fire out. So I tightened up my budget. I got serious about finding some additional income. And I'm no longer seeing myself return to this over and over again. I have a challenging relationship with a family member that I haven't quite come up with the solution, because this particular individual is not likely in a position that they're going to change anytime soon. And so I come back to this relationship over and over again in my practice, replaying some of the hurts of the past, anxiety about how I'm going to fix the relationship in the future. So I'm trying to take some actions. I'm applying loving kindness meditation to the situation. I'm reaching out to some friends who know me and know my life experience, who I trust, who can give me some advice about how I can address this. Some situations can't be fixed. I lost an uncle 2 months ago, suddenly died of a heart attack the day after Thanksgiving, and there's still grief there. My heart breaks for my cousins every time I see them post on social media about how they miss their father. That's just something that I have to work through on the cushion. It's something I have to return to and experience, right? I've become convinced there's no way around my problems, there's only through my problems. We talked about this early on in the first week when we were talking about challenges in our meditation practice. So that's the lesson for today. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Let's not ignore the fires. Let's put the fires out, right? Our meditation practice can be a guide about where we need to be focusing our attention, and this could be a helpful start to that. So good luck. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for practicing with us. Happy Saturday.